Well, Sam, it's 18 months down the track, and we're sitting in front of the beautiful Wyruna again. We sort of said we'd be back in about 3 months, so I think I let the side down there a bit. There's a few extenuating circumstances. I guess we can call COVID on it, and a few other things. But tell me, what's your feelings now? Like 18 months down the track, are you still excited about it, or are you?
Yeah, more excited than ever, to be honest. It's obviously been 18 months since we started full, proper work on the boat. We've done quite a bit since then, but personally, it's been great to watch it come together. It's been great to see the team working on it. Working with Ferdy and Christian and the guys. It's been fantastic. Obviously, couldn't do it without them.
Did you manage to keep going through COVID, or not really?
Yeah, we did actually. So I had a couple of months off last year, almost 12 months ago, and that's when we steamed all the ribs back in. So replaced all the ribs, steamed double laminates in. So we finished that in May last year, which is almost 12 months ago, or just over 12 months ago. And then we started with a beam shelf and the upper and lower stringer. So it's effectively got 3 stringers in the boat. So they're all finished, and we're actually fastening them in today, those stringers. So,
I know it's probably not a good idea, but do you keep a vague track of hours, or not interested?
I could, but but obviously hours translates to other things, so I'm sort of just not keeping too much track of that.
Yeah, no, I think that's very sensible. I think otherwise you do the maths on it. You go X hours times $80 an hour for a shipwright. You've got a $5 million boat there.
Yeah, we might not show this bit to some other people.
Yeah, and last time we filmed you, the ribs you were just about to start putting the ribs in. That process went smoothly. Was there any?
No real hiccups. They actually bent in quite nicely. Ferdy, deliberately chose the timber so it would go in beautifully, and it did. It was lovely timber to work with.
So what timber was that?
Spotted gum. So green spotted gum. I'm pretty sure from Queensland rather than New South Wales. Just a different timber. Obviously, the subtropics and the tropics grows a slightly different timber.
Right.
But definitely green, so it's easier to work with. So that worked quite well. Yeah, it worked beautifully actually. So,
And I seem to remember there was 50 double ribs down each side. So
yeah, there's 53. Some of them they're all doubled, so it's 106 per side, and then around the mast step they're also sisted. So there's about 110 ribs per side.
Right.
So it's 220 all up, roughly.
Fantastic. And it's a good feeling to put the last one in, I guess.
Yeah, that was a good day. Yeah.
Little darling, it seems like the smiles are returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like so many years since they've been there. Here comes the sun and here comes the sun.
Ribs in, and then attention moving on to?
Then we started replanking, so you can see probably behind. We've taken each plank off individually. We've had to repair them. There's a lot of hole filling, a lot of crack repair, edge repairs, those sorts of things. So the guys have been doing that. Some of it's more technical work that I'm just getting up to speed with, so that's been good.
So the carry planks, most of them are carry planks apart from the lower ones, I seem to remember. Yep. So when you pull the plank off, then, I know you're not necessarily doing this, but when they're doing it, they're sanding it back, planing it back.
Very light sand. We don't want to take too much material off at this stage, but it's really, the key part is filling all the old nail holes. It was refastened.
And they're epoxy filled?
Yep, so they're epoxy filled with a wooden dowel as well. So there's a lot of holes in each plank. And we're trying to go back through the same nail holes to the extent we can.
When you refasten them?
Yeah, when we refasten.
So you're refastening into the filled epoxy dowel?
That's right.
Right, okay.
So that's the main piece, and then it's just edge fixes, so graving pieces, those sorts of things. And then a very light sand and a primer just on the back, and then back they go.
And so you've got, looking at the boat here, it looks like you've got up to the waterline and maybe a bit beyond back on. and you're just going to caulk that normally?
Yes, up to the waterline, and then above, then top sides will be, we're just going to put a mastic or a Sikaflex in, bed them down, and hopefully that will be enough for us. We might have to do something on the outside, but we'll wait until we've got the boat in better shape to make that decision.
It seems like the smiles are returning to the faces. Little darling, seems like so many years since they've been there. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun.
So at the moment, obviously, there's a few more planks to go yet, the top planks. But in the meantime, while those are being done, what are you doing inside the boat?
Well, we're just finishing the fastening off. Next steps will be, once we've got the planks back up to the shear, then the next steps will be putting deck beams in. So we need to make a decision on how we make the deck beams and width, strength, all those sorts of things. Decision on that will be around some of the deck structure, will be where we put the mast. We are going to change the rig. So that's been a question since we started really a couple of years ago as to what rig we go back with. Yeah.
So the decision is?
Still 51%, so not exactly on the fence.
A majority shareholding.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be 51, it's more than 50%, it'll be a Bermudan rig. Simpler, easier to handle, still have the classic lines, but simply...
A Bermudan sloop.
Yeah, Bermudan sloop.
Right.
Potentially a cutter, but we'll see. We haven't done some of the calculations to work out exactly how that'll work out yet. So.
Right. So the mast will be a taller timber mast than obviously a gaff. So, and is sourcing the timber for that an issue?
We don't think so. Depends on what you go with, obviously.
Yeah.
But we think that should be possible. So.
And you'll, I mean, obviously you don't need to start building that for a while, but you need to make the decision on what that is so that you can then build the deck structure around.
That's right,
that
deck
mast
structure.
up.
It'll also influence cabin length, deck house length, all those sorts of things.
Yeah, right.
Because if we have to step it back, obviously we not necessarily, and you could put it in the deck house itself, but there's other decisions to make around that. So look, that, and then things are on boom length, so aspect, rig aspect, those sorts of things.
How sort of technical are you getting with your naval architecture here? Is it a lot of it done by feel, or are you actually drawing it out, looking at it, and reassessing and working out centre of efforts and all that sort of thing, or is it very much a gut feel thing?
So my intention is to do some drawings, ideally work out centre of effort. Obviously, I think centre of lateral resistance, and then try and measure that out. So we want a boat that handles quite well. So that's the intention, and that should start pretty soon.
And you're up for that sort of thing?
I'll definitely need some help on that.
I wouldn't be.
No, we definitely do need some help on that. So Ferdy and I've had a couple of chats about who we do it with, but very informal at this stage. But definitely there'll be some work to be done on that. So.
Yeah. And in terms of sort of the feel of the big project, I mean, I know you said at the start you're as excited as ever. I mean, it is, when we first saw it and saw the pictures when it was in Newport, for me it was just massively daunting. And now, just over a year down the track, it all seems sort of achievable now. Do you feel like the same a bit, that, suddenly you can see what you have to do?
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely just working in the boat every day, which I'm doing at the moment, it definitely helps to. I mean, there's still moments when you're sort of on the 100th tap on the top of a river where you go, this is what have I started and how do I finish it?
Yeah.
But definitely, we can. It's not that you can see the end, but you're definitely at the end of the beginning. So that's a lot of fun. So.
Yeah. Have you had any, have there been moments where you've had hurdles that you thought, Jesus, I didn't know this was a thing? Is there something you've come across that's been a bit of a curveball?
No, we knew the hill was that big, and it's turned out to be that big plus an inch.
Yeah.
So I think we're pretty realistic. I mean, it was a complete reconstruction in some ways. Or, there's elements of restoration, and we are obviously under Ferdy's guidance and with Christian using the old techniques, traditional sort of ship riding techniques, which is partly why we want to do it. So look, I think it's expectations met along the way, to be honest. So,
And you know, I know you're working on it pretty much full time now. Are you able to keep doing that for a while? You know.
Yeah, the intention is to turn up every day and just move along every day, and we can do that for probably, well, it depends on when I might find a job, but it might be 6 to 12 months. I'm in no rush to do other things, and this is the priority. We really want to kind of break the back of it over the next 6 to 9 months, and I think that's what we'll do. So,
yeah, it's so exciting. So
yeah, it
exciting.
is.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sam. Just a little recap on the 18-month-old film that we should tell people it's had 170,000 views on YouTube, which I have no idea what that means, but it sounds like a big number, and it's had over 100 comments. And people seem to be very excited by this project, and I feel very mean not giving them an update. So thank you for your time telling people what's going on, and hopefully it won't be another 18 months before we have another go at this. So thank you.
Thank you.